Hi everyone, my name is Eva. Welcome back to my channel, and today I wanted to talk about 3 steps of self-development based off of Jim Rohn. He was an author, he was also a motivational speaker and entrepreneur, and I kind of wanted to talk about some of his motivational tips that he had left to the world. And yeah, I just wanted to do some of his tips because I just found it to be really inspiring and I wanted to share it with you guys. Before I go ahead and start this video, I want to make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what kind of videos you guys would want to see. And yeah, let's get started. So one of the first steps that I saw that from this video that I watched that Jim Rohn had left about the 3 steps towards self-development, one of them was finding out how things work. So he says that real progress stems from resources, not from ideas. And I feel like this is very true in a lot of different ways. I feel like when we are, in the middle of working on a project of some sort, or we're figuring things out, yes, we have a lot of ideas and we have a lot of things that we could create based off these ideas, but really it does stems from the resources we have that are available to us that can help create this process. You know what I mean? So I thought that was kind of interesting, the way he put that. And something else he mentioned was about being curious about the world and being curious and asking questions and learning about these things, you know what I mean, about how things work. He mentioned that, to keep a journal and write things down, which is something I personally do. I do like to write things down and, have a sense of a direction of where I want to go with a project, or there's something I'm learning, I want to write it down and have all these key steps. But mostly what I'm trying to say here is, to learn how things work, you need resources. Another thing he talked about, which I feel like is very obvious, you know what I mean? I feel like most of these steps are very obvious, but he mentioned going to work. What he means by this is actually coming up with an action plan of how, it kind of ties into the first step of how to get things done. You need to go to work to figure this out. Knowledge alone is not enough to create massive action, is how he put it. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity to learn and to grow. You have to start acting on it now. You know what I mean? That's what he means by go to work. That's what he meant by the first step of figuring out how things work. If you don't take action and you don't have a game plan set, you're not going to know how to reach a goal or reach a certain thing you have in mind, so make sure you're aware of what you're doing before you step into it. Make sure you have a game plan. And one thing that was really obvious, I feel like, for this 3rd step, he mentioned that there's no shortcuts, which, let's be honest, there isn't. He says don't try to beat the system. And I feel like in life, guys, there really is no shortcuts for getting to where you want to be in life. You just have to go through it and you have to work through it. And there's not going to be an easy way. You know what I mean? There's never an easy way. And you have to be able to be flexible, be able to learn without overstressing yourself or becoming anxious. Also put that stubbornness as a barrier to success, which I feel like is very true. I feel like we can all be a little stubborn when it comes to trying to learn new things and seeing things from people's perspectives. So I honestly thought that was really interesting, the way he put that. And we have to be open, guys. We have to be open. We have to be responsive to other people and their ideas too. In this life, guys, it's not just about us, it's about other people too, and taking in ideas that they have as well. So I really like these steps that he has, and I kind of wanted to include some of my own as well. So I think one of the first things to self-development in general is to be grateful for what you have. One of the main reasons why people kind of don't get ahead, or they don't they don't see things for what they are is because they're not grateful for the now. If you're not grateful for the present, you won't be grateful for your future. So you have to understand that what you have now is just as important as what you'll have in the future. So kind of keep that in mind as you're going through life and you're learning new things, and, you know, be grateful for every step that you take in life, you know. Do not listen to what other people say about your growth, all right? There's going to be a lot of people in this life, guys, who are going to tell you that what you're doing isn't right, or it's not supposed to be this way, and you're not supposed to grow in this way or learn in a certain way, but that's not true, guys. Everybody does life a little bit differently, and, you know, not everybody is meant to be a nurse, a doctor, I don't know, be in the medical field, or, you know, be a teacher. We all have a different way of living in life, and you have to block out the noise and just kind of listen to your voice and listen to what you feel is right, because your gut intuition is always right. Remember that. Your gut feeling's always the right feeling, and if you keep listening to outside voices, you'll never listen to your own. And one other thing I wanted to add is that kind of going off of the third step that Jim Rohn left was that you can't beat the system, and you can't go through it that easy, you know what I mean? Going off of what he said, you can't beat the system. You really can't. Guys, you really can't beat the system, but there are ways in life in which you can handle things. And this is kind of stemming off of that step, but make sure that you are handling things with grace, and don't show people how you really feel. Okay? How shall I put this? Once you show people how you feel and you give them that reaction that they're looking for, you're giving them the benefit of the doubt, not yourself. You know what I mean? So try to hold things in with grace. I know that's hard sometimes, but you have to carry yourself in a way that makes people respect you. You know, you don't want to, you know, be in a place where, you know, people don't respect you, I guess. But that's kind of everything I have for now that I have written down. I did not know who Jim Rohn was before, but he was a motivational speaker, an author, and an entrepreneur, and there's a lot of cool videos of his that you can watch, motivational videos of his that you can see here on YouTube. And I watched one of them today, and I wanted to share these tips today, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it inspired you a little bit, or there are some things that you could take away from it. But that is all I have for today, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you like this kind of content, please make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. All right, bye-bye.